I think Kelvin is gonna go ahead and go into S tier for sure because I mean I think he's just fucking busted. It's just plain and simple. I mean, you got insane dive potential with the 2 into 3 key chase potential on the people. There's absolutely no escape that they can do. I think that he's a great team support character as well in that sense if you're building him around helping out your team with heals and such. His grenade eventually heals people. You can easily save people that are dying just from those buttons alone. His ult also just does the same thing. Can easily save someone that's dying. Easily lock out people from getting the rejuvenator. You can dome it around the core when you're pushing last and lock enemies out, and your whole team is just dicking the core. I mean, the character is just absolutely fucking insane. I don't really think there's anything wrong with Kelvin at all. Um, Abrams got super great lockdown, some pretty good AoE damage as well through the ult and the one key that he has. I think his laning potential is just absolutely disgusting. You can pressure the fuck out of Abrams and he's just not going to go away. He's just going to stay, he's going to farm, he's going to come back in the game. It's just disgusting. Um, Viscous, super insane burst. Cube is literally like the most broken skill in the game for sure. You can just save whoever's getting dove on, whoever's trying to get like focused hard. You just save them with Cube. It's as simple as that. It's a really good counter to any like single target kill potential that any of these characters try to do. Um, I do know that his ult has some pretty insane mobility as well. Is what I hear. So yeah, definitely an S tier character too. And Furnace, I think we're definitely gonna put him in S tier just because he's got some crazy dive potential as well with some of these other characters through his ult and his dashing in. He's got insane fucking lifesteal from what I've seen. In the late game, he's got insane fucking DPS, just melts the shit out of anything he's like attacking basically in the late game. And so, yeah, I think it's just overall a really, really strong character at what the role is. Low and Krill, I mean, he's got some insane heals that go through his one that you can spam. His 2 key is just absolutely like unfucking real burst DPS if you build him in a certain way. Um, he has literally a fucking AoE disarm that if he just plays really well, it can just completely be fight turning. It's just disgusting. His ult, I mean, you just pick a target and they're dead. It's as simple as that. Really, really good kill potential out of the ult. Really, really good utility out of the rest of his kit. Insane burst DPS through the rest of his kit. He's really sustainable. It's not really a whole lot you can go wrong with having him out in Krill for sure. Uh, I think that Paradox and Vindicta are kind of like some similar characters here in my mind, where if you're like an aim god, you're placing the skills really well. You're using like swaps of Paradox, for example, really well. Then, I mean, both these characters can be absolutely fucking disgusting. Vindicta, I mean, if you're an aim god and you just don't miss on that ult, you don't miss on those left clicks. I mean, whoever's on the screen, they're gonna just be dead in a couple seconds. It doesn't even fucking matter. This character is just goddamn disgusting. Same with Paradox. You just land a stun lock off the 3 on someone, and I mean that's just a pick a target and kill them. They're just dead. You can swap people that are running away, as I said a second ago, or just get really good value out of the swaps, and I mean they're just dead too. Same concept with like Mo and Crow. You just pick a target, kill them. Really really easy. Um, so for A tier, we got 7 here. I think that I wanted to kind of put 7 in S tier, but I put him in A tier eventually just because I think it's very feast or famine. With the ult, I think if you have the ult, it's really crazy. Um, Rejuvenator fights are gonna just go your way completely. It's just unfightable. Um, I do think that I think there's some abilities and some items in the game that kind of lock him down, make him like not as good for sure in that ult. But I mean, I don't know if we gotta take the focus off whatever the fuck else is happening in the fight. We have to for a couple seconds deal with that Seven ult with that lockdown or whatever. I mean, I think it's just it's the idea of the stimulus. You know, you just ult. It's gonna be a huge fucking problem. You got to figure out a solution for that problem, and if you don't have a solution for that problem, you're just not gonna win that fucking fight, buddy. I'm sorry. You know, you can just throw that shit up on last while you're pushing, throw that shit up on last while you're defending, throw that shit up on the Rejuvenator, as I said. I mean, you just wait on top of buildings with them, wait for your teammates to engage in a fight, and like, I mean, you just pop in, throw a two down. People are gonna get AOE stunned probably because everything's just going hectic in the fight. You just pop that ult. I mean, people are just gonna die. They're not gonna survive. No one's gonna fucking survive. Uh, I mean, same thing with Dynamo, you know. He's got that insane ult potential, big black holes for sure. I think if you're not getting really good usage out of it, though, then he can kind of be a little bit weaker. I think that, like, he's got some decent burst damage with his one key, decent mobility with his two, maybe. Um, he's got I mean, some decent heals with his three as well. But I think that the bread and butter of this kit really comes from his ultimate there. Ivy is going to go ahead and be an A tier character here just because I think that Kelvin kind of just does some things better than Ivy. Like, you can rush and earn with Ivy, but I mean, you can rush and earn with Kelvin. I think that the left click damage from Ivy I've seen is pretty good. If you have pretty good aim, if you land all those shots, someone's definitely going to get melted for sure. Um, I think that there's yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty fair. Lash, I mean, I think I heard he got nerfed, so yeah, I mean, we're gonna come put him in S. I mean, A tier, sorry. And so I think what he does really well for sure. I think that he kind of just perma dives people. You can't really get away from him. Does absolutely bonkers fucking damage. His ult, if used really well, it's just another like pick a target, kill someone, they're fucking dead. Absolutely fight turning shit. It's just unreal. But definitely not an S tier character just because I think he can get focused down a little bit for sure. I think he has to play pretty well in a team fight to not actually get killed and to effectively use his kit obviously is um yeah, it's gonna be like up to the player to decide that, but overall, I mean a really, really strong character as well. Pocket, gonna go ahead and A tier here. Pretty decent poke with his one in lane I've seen. Really, really good escapes, really good dives. Really hard to 1v1, really hard to kill. I think his ults are really, really good. If used really well with some abilities like a Vindicta root, for example, here. Um, you can get some pretty insane combinations, I feel like, with that ult. Big AoE damage, big tick damage on it. And so yeah, I think it's just overall a pretty decent character, pretty strong character. Shiv, I think, kind of has the same thing with Lash here, where you kind of have to be super good. I feel like at like knowing how you are being effective in a team fight, and I think that he is just not as dominant in a team fight as much as these other characters in S tier might be, for example. And I think it's a really good 1v1 character, really good lane character from what I've seen, but I think that when it's going super late and when it's these 6v6 like upfront coordinated man fights, then I think that what he does is like I mean if you're single targeting someone down, you know, that's great. You know. But that's really all you're gonna do, to be honest. Like you're not gonna like just moan and crow ult someone, they're gonna die. You're not gonna just paradox lock someone down, they're gonna die. You're not gonna just like dynamo ult something and then just completely turn the fight or ult with seven, for example. Like there's just better team fight characters in my mind, so there's that. The rest of these characters in B tier, I think that they're just kind of B tier because there are just certain characters that are better at doing what they do, so that's kind of why they're B. I differ a lot here from other people with a tier list, with putting McGinnis in B. I think that with a lot of people saying it's the worst character in the game, I think it's just a common theme that people are latching onto. I think that McGinnis can definitely be very good though. I think that with what she does, what she tries to accomplish, really insane high single target DPS, for example, through I mean you can put that on heroes, you can put that on buildings, you can put that on the boss, you can put that I mean, I think if you're playing around a McGinnis and you're trying to effectively make usage out of her kit as what it is, I think she can be definitely devastating in the right ways if you're using that correctly. And we put Bebop here and C kind of differs a little bit also from other opinions. I think that Bebop is just it's sort of like what I explained with Shiv here. It's like I mean, he's good at what he does for sure. Good pick character potential. Has a pretty good laning phase from what I've seen as well, and it's definitely pretty decent at what he wants to try to accomplish. But I think when it comes to these six mans and these upfront team fights that this higher level play should be, people should not be running around blindly just 1v1ing off random sides. I mean, a proper 6v6 in pro play should look like well executed abilities, good coordination, and just overall looking very strong as a unit. And I think that with Bebop, it's like, I mean, if you're landing a hook on someone, let's think about that. You hooked someone in from the enemy team. That's going to instantly be the start of that engagement. But for the rest of that fight, that's probably all you're really going to do. You know, I mean, so I think with Bebop here, I'm just putting him on C just because I think that he's a little bit on the weaker side when it comes to late game team fighting. I think he's a little bit on the weaker side unless you're making extremely good use out of those hooks. And I think it's just a very niche play style that uh, it just doesn't really accomplish much whenever it's put into the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I mean, I think that that's gonna be it there. Yeah, that's the tier list. I'll be right back for a second, guys.
Yo, thanks for that tier list, Drew. Appreciate that.